Welcome to Living Life, the show that allows you to pursue things that make you happy, curious, and keep you open-minded. This is Living Life on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Welcome to Living Life, Sweets, Treats, and Eats on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network, presented by Knack. I'm Howie Morgasen. On this episode, it's all about Father's Day, the celebration of fathers and all that they do for us. So we figured that we would have an episode dedicated to Father's Day. And why not do comfort food? Because that's what dads like a lot. So we're going to do lasagna, and lasagna is just good. So we're going to do lasagna three ways. We're going to do the classic lasagna with a meat sauce and the noodles. We're going to do a zucchini lasagna, and that is using zucchini as the noodles. And then we're going to do a basic lasagna with noodles and veggies. So that is what we're going to do. It's also special because I'm going to have members of the family working alongside. So I'm very excited about that. And then for dessert, we're going to make really special. We're going to do chocolate chip cookies, ice cream sandwiches. Just makes your mouth water saying it. So I just want to remind you, if you want more about Sweets, Treats, and Eats, you can check us out on all our social platforms at Living Life ETB. So now, let's get started and make some lasagna. So there's two sauces that we have for the classic lasagna. One of them is a tomato sauce, like you can see here. And you have a number of options for tomato sauce. You can use the link that I'm going to put in the description below, and that will take you to this recipe, which will take you some time to put together, but makes this really cool sauce. Or if you're not into making the sauce, you can go to the supermarket and get your favorite bottled sauce, and you can use that. So we have the sauce that we've worked on, and it's been simmering away. And this is a meat sauce. So we have meat that we cooked off earlier, and it's a combination of sirloin and sausage and prosciutto. And that gives it a really good flavor. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the meat into the sauce. Okay, here we go. And then we're just going to stir it in. And then what we want to do is let it cook for a while so the meat can get cozy with the sauce and the sauce can get cozy with the meat. So that is the red sauce that we're going to be working with. And then the second sauce, which is the bechamel, we're going to get started on now. So let's get started with the bechamel. So we have the butter. So we're going to put the butter in here first. Okay. And we're just going to move it around. If you're going to do bechamel, and I've mentioned this before, we did another episode where we did soups, where we did a bechamel, is that you really want to use the good butter. It's a little bit more expensive, but the result is much better. So you want to do the butter and keep it mixing until it starts foaming, and then we're ready to go. So while I'm here doing this, I just wanted to remind you that if you want to find more shows from Sweets, Treats, and Eats, you just have to check here on our YouTube channel, and you can find all the back episodes of Sweets, Treats, and Eats. So I can see the butter. I'm going to give it a second here. Looks like it's starting to foam up. So what I want to do is grab the flour that I have over here. I'm going to turn this up a little on the heat. And then I'm going to put the flour in. And then I'm going to keep mixing. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get all the flour incorporated into the butter, and it's going to cook for a couple of minutes to get the flour taste out of it. So we'll keep mixing here and keeping an eye on it, and then we'll move it forward. All right, so the roux looks like it is cooked. So the next thing to do is to add the milk. So I will grab the milk, and you don't do it all at one time. So we'll put in the first installment of the milk, and then we'll stir it. And we're going to give flour a chance to combine with that. Okay, and then we're going to add the second installment of the milk. Okay, and then we're going to keep stirring it until it thickens up, and this will take a couple of minutes, so we'll come back and take a look at it. So as you can see, our bechamel has thickened up, and now what we want to do is we're going to add the cheese. So we have the Parmesan Reggiano right here. I'm going to put that in, and we're going to mix it. So that's going to melt, make it even thicker. And then we have some salt and garlic powder that we're going to put in. And then we have a little nutmeg that we're going to put in. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to continue to mix this. It'll continue to get thicker. And then once it's thickened, we're going to let it cool. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble our classic lasagna. So stay with us. So I have my special guest with me today, and this is Nick. He's my son. He's also the videographer for Sweets, Treats, and Eats. So he's been the guy behind the camera for all of our episodes. But since this is a Father's Day episode, I invited Nick to work with me on the lasagna. Say hello to everybody, Nick.
Hi, everybody.
Very good. So now we made the two sauces. We made the meat sauce, we made the bechamel sauce, we have the cheese ready to go, and we have the lasagna noodles. So the lasagna noodles we're using are the no-bake lasagna noodles, and so these are the ones that you take right out of the box and you put in to make your lasagna. You can also get the cooking lasagna noodles, and those are ones that you cook on top of the stove in water, and you can use those. Either one would work in this recipe. I just find that the no-bake noodles are just much easier to work with. So why don't we assemble the lasagna? So we have our pan here. We've sprayed it with no-stick cooking spray. And now to start with, I reserved a little bit of the tomato sauce before I put the meat in it, and that's what I'm going to put down in the bottom of the pan. And then what I'm going to do is just sort of spread it out so it's all over the bottom of the pan. Okay, so now we have that. And then what I want to do is start taking the noodles. And so before we started, I took some of the noodles and I cut them. So even though they're hard noodles, you can still cut them and to fit into the size of the pan. So I'm going to take some noodles and position them in the pan and press them down. So I have two going that way, and then I have one of these shorter noodles I did, and we put it in there. So now we're ready to put the sauces in, and my assistant over here is going to help me with the sauce. So Nick, why don't we start with the meat sauce, and give me 6 dollops of meat across here, and that's good. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the meat sauce in first, and then I'm going to spread the meat sauce out. And then once I do that, we're going to then switch over to the bechamel sauce and a little more meat sauce over here. We got plenty of it, so we might as well use it. All right, perfect. So I'm going to spread out the meat sauce on here. I tell you what, before you go away with that meat sauce, I'll take a little bit more because it looks like we're being shy with it. So give me some over here. Great, perfect. Okay, so we'll spread out the meat sauce over here, and then next we'll take the bechamel, which we melted the cheese into, and now give me some 6 dollops of bechamel across here. That's good. So Nick, Empty the Bench Podcast Network is something that you started, a couple of years ago?
I would say about 7-8 months ago.
Oh, okay. So, and you have a number of different podcasts that you have as part of it. So can you tell me a little bit about the podcast and how it's going?
So we have about 10 podcasts now. We have a couple more starting in a month. We have sports, we have pop culture, we have news, we have interview shows. We have it. If you want it, we have it. So make sure you follow us at ETB Network across all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and make sure you find us there.
That's good for that. Well, thank you. So now we're going to get to the cheesy part of it. So I'm going to take some mozzarella cheese and I'm going to put it across here. Grab some more. Did you mention that great food blog that you have on the ETB network? That's Sweets, Treats, and Eats.
Oh yeah, that show.
That great show that's on every month that does all kinds of good food dishes, right?
I mean, we have that show as well. So we have Living Life. So we have Sweets, Treats, and Eats. We have home design concepts and a bunch of other fun stuff coming up with that show as well. At Living Life ETB, we'll put that over here if you're looking as well. So make sure you go check that out also.
Okay, so we have our first layer. And now what we're going to do is take our noodles and we're going to position them in over here like we did before. And one over here. And then we're going to start the same thing all over again. So we'll start with the meat sauce. So you can just push that bechamel out of the way. And don't be bashful. Feel free to just ladle it on here. Yeah, that looks great. This meat sauce, by the way, I mentioned before, it has sirloin in it, it has sausage in it, and it has prosciutto in it. When I saw the recipe for it, I said, wow, prosciutto, that's interesting. Not something you typically find in a meat sauce, but it really brings a lot of flavor to it. So I'm looking forward to it. That's great. Maybe a little more. I'm going to spread it out over here. Yeah, go ahead. Up there. Perfect. All right, so now we're back to the bechamel, so switch out again. All right, that's great. And let's put dollops of bechamel around there.
And by the way, if you're looking for more stuff on Living Life, Sweets, Treats, and Eats, it's on our ETB Network YouTube channel as well. There is a great tips segment that he just did with mise en place and a bunch of other different segments. So if you're looking for that, that's on our YouTube channel as well. So go check that out.
All right, cool. Well, we got a lot of spaces here. Let's plug them all up. Don't be bashful with that bechamel sauce. It's really good. It's got all that cheesy stuff in it as well. This lasagna is really, really looking good. So Father's Day is going to be really, really good. All right, a little more over here, and I think we'll be set. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to get to the cheesy part of it. So we're going to get some mozzarella, put that across here. Grab some more mozzarella. So this podcast is a real family venture. So, you know, Nick has been videographer, my wife is a director, and she keeps us all going, and she is our official food stylist. So she makes everything look good. So when we put the dishes out there, they're really good. I would say that we try to get her on camera at some point, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see what happens. You know, she's behind the camera right now, keeping things going. All right, so what? Little pecorino romano across the top there. There we go. And then we have one more layer, which we're going to put on. So we put that here. We put the second one over here. And we take this like that. So this is going to be the top layer. So what we have first, we want to put some meat sauce on there. So ladle that goodness on.
I don't think we've ever been bashful in this family about having extra of something.
Yep. Yeah, wow, that looks awesome.
And by the way, if you go to the Instagram channel as well, which is at Living Life ETB, we put up a lot of behind the scenes videos of all these episodes. So you might catch some behind the scenes stuff and even some bloopers, some stuff that we don't necessarily have make to the final cut. So you can go check that out as well.
Really? I never do anything wrong. There's probably no bloopers there about me. So, all right, let's get a little bit of bechamel action here. And then we're going to finish up with some special fresh mozzarella cheese that we have here that we saved for the top. Doing a great job there, Nick.
Oh, I have to learn from the best, right?
Flattery will get you everywhere. All right, so that's looking good. Maybe a little down here where I am. Okay, that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fresh mozzarella. So fresh mozzarella cheese is different from the standard stuff that you buy in the supermarket. So we also have fontina cheese. So I'm sorry I screwed up. This is fontina cheese, and this adds additional flavor to it. So I'm sprinkling that across the top of it. So we're going to make it as much as we can. And then what happens is when we're finished, we're going to cover this with foil, and we're going to put it in the oven. We have some mozzarella left, so we're going to use that as well. Let's just put that, and we'll put it in the oven, covered with aluminum foil, and it goes for 30 to 45 minutes. Then we take the aluminum foil off, and we cook it for an additional 10 to 15 minutes, so it melts everything on the top. So that's what the classic lasagna looks like. And next, we're going to do zucchini lasagna. Okay, so now we're going to make our zucchini lasagna. And interestingly enough, zucchini lasagna has no lasagna noodles in it. It's made with the zucchini to act as the lasagna noodle. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. One of them is this with this new add-on that I got from my KitchenAid mixer, and this is a vegetable sheet cutter. If you don't have one of these, and most of you probably do not, you can do it with a mandolin, which is that device that you put it on top over the blade and you sort of shave it off. And if you don't have a mandolin, you can just take a knife and a cutting board and you can cut slices of it that way. So whatever works for you. But since I have this neat sheet cutter, I'm going to show you how to use it. So you start out with a zucchini, which you have here, and I prepped one for us to get started. So KitchenAid says you need 4.5 inches to fit into the machine, so I cut the zucchini down. And then KitchenAid gives you these 2 pieces to put on the end. So I'm going to fit it into the cutter like this, and then take the skewer and sort of put it through on this side and line it up, and then just sort of push it through like that. And then I put my plate underneath. I turn on my KitchenAid mixer. Before I do that, I have to pick that up like that, so sorry about that. Pick that up like that, and then I just release the blade, and then it will cut sheets of zucchini. Isn't that amazing? So you can use this, it looks just like the lasagna noodles. So you can use this for lots of different things, but we're going to use it for zucchini lasagna. So I'm going to continue with the other zucchini I have to cut the noodles up, and then we're going to work on the filling for the zucchini lasagna. So we just prepared the zucchini. We made the long noodles, zucchini noodles. Just a tip on the zucchini noodles: when you're finished doing them and you cut them up to size, you may want to put them on a cookie sheet and salt them, and then let them sit for about 15-20 minutes. That draws all the water out of the zucchini. You can also either grill them on top of the stove, or put them in the oven, and that dries them out as well, so that you won't get as much water when you make the lasagna. So just some tips on the zucchini. Even if you don't use the sheet cutter, if you cut them or you use the mandolin, the same thing, salting them and putting them in the oven or on top to dry them out is a good idea. So now that we have our zucchini noodles, now we need the filling that goes inside this lasagna. And it's a ricotta-based filling, and we have all the ingredients that go into it, so why don't we put it together? So we start with an egg, okay? And then we have some spinach. We have about half a cup of spinach, and that, and then we have some Pecorino Romano cheese. I'm going to put that in. And then we have salt and pepper. All right, and then we just mix it all together. And this is going to be what we put between the zucchini noodles when we lay them out and put them together. So I'm going to continue mixing here, and then we'll come back with my buddy Nick and we'll put together the zucchini lasagna. We are now ready to assemble our zucchini lasagna. And my buddy Nick is back to work with us. Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Okay, so we start out, so we have our lasagna pan. And this is an interesting lasagna pan. You can see it's got 3 separate compartments in it here. And that is, if I wanted to make 3 different types of lasagna, and I only had I needed a small amount for each one, I can do it in here. And it has these cool things which lift up so that when the lasagna is done and cooled, you can lift it out and put it on a serving dish. So how cool is that? So for this one, we're going to use it for the same lasagna in all the pans, but just so it's easy for us to take it out and serve it, we're gonna do it here. So what we did was we took our lasagna and we cut it into smaller width pieces to fit within this pan. So when we get to them, they'll fit nicely into it. We also had 2 different types. We cut some thin lasagna, thin zucchini, and some thicker zucchini. So that's why you see the difference in there. We'll put the thicker ones on the bottom, sort of as the anchor to keep it together. And then as we get closer to the top, we'll put some of the thinner ones in there. So you ready to get started?
Yep.
All right, so let's put a layer of sauce on the bottom of each one of these. So just, put it straight across. Good. And actually, you can put a whole bunch in each one, and then I'll just tilt the pan back and forth to cover everything. So just put it in all 3 areas. That's good. Nick's becoming an old pro. Maybe he'll have his own podcast. So, and I did mention that before he put the tomato sauce in, we sprayed this pan with no stick, just so there'd be no problem getting lasagna out. So, all right, so we're finishing up putting that bottom layer of sauce in. So that should be good. One more. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just tilt the pan back and forth to make sure we have sauce covering the whole thing. So I think that's good. And now we're going to start layering the zucchini in. So I'm just going to take it and put it in the bottom. We need 2 for each one. So that is the first one. And now we have the second section that we're all set with. And then we just need 2 more to do this top section over here. So Nick, the next thing we want to do is we want to put some more tomato sauce in over here. So I'll put you to that task. All right, so Nick, what's your favorite Italian food? So we're making lasagna today. What type of Italian food do you like?
Well, I'm a ziti, or pasta guy.
Okay.
That's really my favorite. But in our family growing up, since we have Italian traditions, any Italian food was good in our family.
Okay, but you're a ziti guy.
Yes.
And you're an alla vodka sauce guy.
That is one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have the sauce. Now we're going to go to the Regatta sauce. And so we're going to put a lump of it in 3 places in there. That's good. All right. All right, so while you're working on the next one, I'm going to spread this one here. This Regatta has really good cheese, the Parmesan Reggiano, which is aged cheese, and it has a really kind of salty, kind of briny taste to it, and it's really good. Okay, finished the middle section here, so you got ahead of me a little bit, so I'm going to catch up, and I am going to spread it out. Go ahead. Don't let me get in your way.
And if you're looking for this great show, make sure you go check us out on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network YouTube channel. Also, at Living Life ETB for all Living Life shows, including this great one.
Yeah, I use a little more over here.
And Home Design Concepts, which is another great show on this under this Living Life platform. So make sure you check it out. Also, Instagram, same thing at Living Life ETB for all the bloopers and pictures. And trust me, there are a lot of pictures, so make sure you go check them out as well.
Okay, so now I'm going to put some some mozzarella cheese. I'm having a little trouble with my cheeses today. I'm going to put some mozzarella cheese across all the layers here. That, because everybody likes mozzarella cheese, and it's my favorite word, Nick, which is what when I talk about cheeses?
Oh, your favorite word, melty.
Yes, it gets all melty. Okay, so we did the first layer. So now we're going to take the next layer and we're going to put it together. So we're going to take our slices of zucchini, and we're going to put them in again. Go in the middle layer here. And then when I get this set up, Nick, you're going to go with the tomato sauce again. So you can get started, and I'm over here with putting this last set of noodles in. So if you can give me a layer of tomato sauce, that's really great. So Nick, you mentioned that you can get outtakes and bloopers from stuff. Now we know that I never have any outtakes because I do it on the first take every time.
Yes, okay.
Right, so if they want to see the outtakes or things that happen while we're filming these, what's the best way to do that?
So Instagram would be one of the best ways. So on the at ETB Network would be one place, but also at Living Life ETB as well for all the bloopers and other things that go on behind the scenes during this show. We try to perfect everything, but yes, there are some interesting things that go on behind the scenes that we'd like to show you. So check it out.
That's cool. A little more over here, and then we'll be ready for the ricotta cheese again. So this is coming together really nice. This looks good. It's going to be really yummy, as I say. Yeah, make sure you spread it out over the 3 of these so we make sure we have enough to work with. Okay, I'll spread that one out. Yeah, you can work over here. Go ahead. All right, and then put the last of it over here.
Let's squeeze out one more here.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect. See if you can squeeze any more out of there. And I will take it over here. Great. All right, so now I'm going to put the mozzarella cheese over here. I put that in, and all right, so I think we've put together, let's go to the last drop. Let's get these last.
What is that saying? Cheese, please?
All right, so this looks terrific. Nice job.
Hey, we did it.
All right, so we have our zucchini lasagna, and it's ready to go in the oven. So let's put a little more sauce over the top.
Can never have enough sauce.
Right, so just go across and do it. So after we do that, and I have some of the other, the thinner zucchinis, which I'm probably just going to put over the top of this because they'll make a really nice garnish on the top of this. So I'm going to string them along on the top. And so when we're done putting this together, which is pretty much where we are, we're going to wrap this in aluminum foil like we did with the other lasagna, and we're going to bake it in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes. Take the aluminum foil off and then cook it for another 10 or 15, and you'll have your zucchini lasagna. And coming up next is veggie lasagna. So stay with us. Hey, Sweets, Treats, and Eats fans. Knack has a brand new bag that they are debuting on our ETB network. The Sling Bag is the new light, small bag for people on the go. If you're out and about, use the new Sling Bag to keep you organized. You can put your phone, wallet, and keys, but then you can put snacks and even drinks. So nothing can stop you from completing a full day of business or fun. Check out the link in the description below to order your Sling Bag with free shipping on all orders. I want to thank our friends from Knack for sponsoring this episode. If you get a Knack Sling Bag, don't forget to post it on social and tag us at Living Life ETB. We want to see you enjoying your Knack bag. Okay, so we're on to lasagna number 3, and that is a noodle and veggie lasagna. So we're going to put the vegetables in because we have to saute those. So we have carrots and we have onions, and we're going to mix those around. So this lasagna, which we're making, we're going to put the noodles, the regular lasagna noodles that we used in the first lasagna, which was the classic lasagna. And in this one, we're going to use those noodles, and we're going to make a veggie mixture, which includes the onions that you see here and the carrots. And then when they're all cooked, what we're going to do is, and I'm going to throw some spinach in at the last minute because that cooks really quick. And so when they're done in here, then I'm going to take them and put them in a blender. And if you don't have a blender, you have a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, if you have a NutriBullet that you use to make smoothies, you can use that as well. And you're just going to put it in there. You're not going to puree it. You're actually just going to pulse it a couple of times to break down the veggies and mix it up with the ricotta cheese. And then when it's all mixed up, we're going to go over and do what we did before. Assemble the lasagna. Okay, so now we are going to assemble lasagna number 3. And my buddy Nick is back with me. Say hello, Nick.
Hi.
Okay, and so this is lasagna with noodles and veggies. So let's start out with a couple of spoonfuls of sauce. Maybe 3 altogether. There's 2. And there's 3. All right, so I'm going to spread that around, and you're going to tell everybody where they can find more information about the show as I'm sort of leveling things out here.
If you're looking for Living Life, especially sweets, treats, and eats, make sure you go on social media at Living Life ETB, where you can find everything, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, bloopers, your favorite word, along with other videos and other pictures along the way, including sneak peeks and behind the scenes.
Great, thank you. So I also wanted to note that the second 2 lasagnas that we did, which were the veggie-based ones, we have a plain marinara sauce that we're working with. For the first one, the classic one, we had a meat sauce. So I just wanted to make sure. And for the marinara sauce, same options. If you want to go into the supermarket, pick out your favorite jarred marinara sauce, feel free to do that. That's perfectly okay to make the lasagna. So we have the first layer of sauce down in here, and now we're going to take the noodles like we did before, and we're going to put them down. And like before, I cut some shorter ones over here, so I would be all ready to cover the entire bottom of it. So now that we have that in, Nick, we'll take some more sauce, please. Okay, some over here, and then some down there. A little more over here. Go ahead, put some more. Great. All right, so we have that. So now we're going to go to our special regatta mixture, which we have there, which, as I mentioned before, we made it by first sauteing the vegetables. Thank you for modeling that. We sauteed the vegetables, including the spinach, and then we put it in the blender. We put it in our NutriBullet, and we pulsed it a couple of times, which is why it's green ricotta cheese instead of white, because of the spinach. So now we're going to put that in. So let's put a couple of spoonfuls of that in here so we can spread it out and keep going. So it is Father's Day, and that is sort of the celebration that we are doing these 3 lasagnas for. So Nick, what maybe one of your Father's Day memories that you sort of remember growing up as I spread these out here?
Well, I don't think any Father's Day is different from the other. I think it's just important we spend the day with our fathers. That's important.
Aha.
So I try not to look at one and the other different than the other. Well, it just makes me wonder how old you're getting. But
okay, then. Boy, am I glad I asked you to share that memory with us. So
no, I'm just kidding.
I understand. So now I'm going to take some mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to spread that across here like this, maybe a little bit more, because we know why we love mozzarella cheese, because it gets all
melty.
Thank you. One of my favorite words. Okay, so now we're going to take the next level, and we're going to put the macaroni in, like we did in the first one. Okay, and then we take the short one that we cut, and we put it over here. And then we're going to go with some more tomato sauce first, so you can swap those out. And let's put it across there and there. Great. Good. So I'm going to start spreading these around, and you keep going up over here. Good. Good. This one, don't be afraid. You can do. That's great. Okay, just a little more up here, and we'll be all set with the tomato sauce. All right, that's great. Okay, now we're going to switch to the ricotta cheese, and let's put some across there as well. So I would say that this podcast has been great for me because it allows me to spend more time with you, which is a lot of fun. We have learned a lot about working together, and I will say that this has been a great experience. We have come at each other during it, but I think in the process of really trying to put together a really good podcast, we've had lots of discussions about things we're doing. And, we just wanted to make sure it went well. But I think that it's been a great experience for me, Nick, working with you, working with Mom, and putting this together. So, okay, so now we're going to put a little mozzarella cheese across here, like that. And grab a bunch more. And maybe a little bit more. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to put another layer here. Okay, and the short one over here. And now we'll take some tomato sauce. Good job. So this one, as we're putting it together with the tomato sauce, and we're going to continue working on this over here to finish it up. And then when we're done with it, we're going to put, you can switch to that one now, we're going to do what we did with the other two lasagnas. We're going to put them, wrap them with aluminum foil, and we're going to cook them in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes at about 350 degrees. And then after the 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to take the foil off the top, and then we're going to have some terrific lasagna to work with. So we're going to keep working here, and then the next thing that we're going to do is dessert, and we have a special guest coming for dessert as well. I'm going to leave that as a surprise for now, but we're going to keep working here. All right, so now we're going to make dessert, and I have my assistant, my grandson Josh. Say, Josh, say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, and what are we making today? We're going to make chocolate chip
Ice cream sandwiches.
Wow, that's so cool. All right, and we have all our ingredients here, right? And we're ready to go. So for this, we play two roles. Your name is?
Cookie Monster.
And my name is?
Gonger.
So I'm Gonger, and he's Cookie Monster. So Cookie, you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we have white sugar and brown sugar, and we're going to add those in. So I'm going to take the cover off like this. Okay, you ready? You going to help me do it? That goes in.
I don't want to do it.
Okay. All right, so let's put this sugar in. We got to put the brown sugar in, right?
Brown sugar in.
Let's give it a bang so it goes in. Oh. Okay, so now we got the sugar in. We're going to put the mixer down, right?
Okay,
and we're going to turn it on. You ready? You want to help me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we're going to let the sugar mix with the butter, okay? And that's called creaming when you do it for cookies, right? Can you say that? Creaming? Yeah. So we're going to let this go for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to go to the next step, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we have the sugar and the butter, and that's mixed. So we're going to turn that off, okay? And we're going to lift up, right? So now, the next thing we have is, what do we have here? We have the eggs, the milk,
the vanilla.
And the vanilla. Very good. So we're going to lift this up carefully, right? Up on top here. You're going to help me do it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to pour it in. Okay, great job in doing that, right? Nice job, Cookie.
Nice job, Gonger.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to lock it in. And we're ready? We're going to turn it back on again? Yeah. Can you help me do that? Okay, so now we're gonna let the eggs and the milk and the vanilla mix with the sugar and the butter, and that's gonna go for a couple of minutes, and then we'll move on to the next one, which is this over here. You know what this is?
Flour.
Flour, very good. So when we come back, we're gonna do that, okay?
Yes.
Okay, having fun?
Yes.
Great. All right, Josh, the eggs and the milk have mixed for a long time, so we're gonna turn that off for a minute, and we're gonna lift it up so we can put more stuff in, right?
With
Okay, and now,
dripping
that's okay. What do we have here?
flour.
Flour, so we're gonna carefully put some flour in.
I don't want that. There's too much in half.
It's a little more.
I don't want.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, we can do a little more. You ready? How about a drop more? Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna put it on. You ready? Help me put it on. Okay, now that's gonna let that go for a minute. So now we're mixing the flour with the eggs and with the vanilla and with the butter, right? And the sugar. We're getting them all mixed around in the mixing machine,
Okay.
right? So that flour is in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this off for a minute, and I'm just going to do what they call scraping down the sides to make sure that we have no dry stuff in there, right? Okay, so we did that. And now you're ready to put some more flour in?
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
you ready? Let's put the rest of this in.
I want to.
Okay, go ahead. Wow, that was a great job.
That was a great one.
Yep, so now let's put this down again and lock it. You ready? We're gonna turn this on again there, Cookie?
Yes, Carla.
Okay, look. So we're gonna let that flour mix, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna let that, and then we're gonna mix the rest of the flour in, right? And then we're gonna come back and put the chocolate chips in, right? Right. Oh, I got some on my finger. Whoa. Okay, so we'll be back. We're gonna finish the flour, and we'll come back to put the chocolate chips in, okay?
Yeah, you need to clean that off.
And I'll wash my hand when we do that, okay? All right. All right, Josh, so we mixed all the flour in, right?
Yeah.
And we got that done. So now we're gonna lift up again, right? And then what do we have? The best part, what are these?
Chocolate chip.
Look at all those chocolate chips. Oh my. Is that a lot?
That's really a lot.
Okay, so help me. Wow. Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to put it down, right? And now what do we do?
Turn it on.
Yep, there we go. Okay, and the chocolate chips are going to get mixed in there all around. And then what do we have? We now have chocolate chip cookie dough, right?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
How cool is that to take all of those ingredients that we had and put them together in the mixer?
Yeah.
And then we have, so all that's left to do is what?
That's good.
We're gonna make chocolate chip cookies, right?
Cookies.
All right, so we're gonna let this mix, and then next thing you'll do is we'll put them out and get them ready to go in the oven, okay?
Yes.
All right, so this is really cool.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here. Okay, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, Josh, so we now have the cookie dough, and we had it in the freezer for a while to let it get solid so we can work with it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop it out, right?
Scoop it.
We're gonna put it on the scale,
Put on scale.
make sure it weighs the right, and then I'm gonna hand it off to you in the cookie mold. You're gonna use the tap machine, and then we're gonna do it, okay? So you ready to go?
Yay.
Okay, you ready, Cookie Monster?
Are you ready, Conga?
Yes, I am. Okay, here we go. So here's the first scoop.
Beautiful scoop. Put it
Okay,
on
and
there.
I'm gonna put it on here. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's a little heavy, so I'm gonna take a little bit off. That's right. So then I'm gonna do is put it over here for you, and then you're gonna use the tap machine. Go ahead, tap. Push it down. Keep pushing. There you go. That was great. Okay, so now we're gonna take the mold off, and I'm gonna take the spatula, see? And we're going to take the cookie and put it on the cookie sheet. Okay?
Put it on the cookie sheet.
You ready to do another one?
I found something wrong.
Okay, I'll fix it. How's that?
That's good.
Okay, so now I'm going to take some more cookie dough, right? I'm going to put it here. Let's see how much it weighs. Okay, maybe a little drop more.
That's good.
Okay, so we're going to put it here, and you're going to get it with the tap machine. Go ahead, push down hard, push it hard. Okay, good job. Okay, let's pull this off. We grab the cookie, put it over here. All right, should we do one more? Okay, so we're going to grab, put this on the scale. Let's see how much.
Is that good?
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Okay, I'm going to put it here in the mold. Okay, and then you're going to go with the tap machine. Go ahead, push it down, push it down. Okay, wow, that was terrific. And we take this off, and we pull it up, and we put it here. All right, so we're going to work on these, right? We're going to get all of them ready and on the cookie sheet, and then we're going to put them in the oven.
Okay.
So they can bake.
Okay.
And then when they cool, what are we going to do?
We're going to eat them.
Well, but what do we got to put on it first?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, so we're going to do that, right? So tell everybody, stick around.
Stick around.
And you're going to see our chocolate chip cookies.
Yes, chocolate chip cookies.
Good job there, Cookie.
Good job there, Gonga.
Thank you.
Is it starting?
Yep.
Is it starting now?
Yes, it is.
Is it really starting?
Yep.
Did it start now?
Yes, it started, and so we're back. And what do we have here? The great chocolate chip cookies we made.
Yeah.
Do you want to show everybody the chocolate chip cookies we made? You can hold it up and show everybody. Go ahead, pick it up, show Uncle Nick. Say, isn't that a great chocolate chip cookie? It came out great. Okay, now the best part, now we're going to put the ice cream on it, right?
Ice cream.
So we're going to take some ice cream, see, like that. We're going to put it, we put it on there, and then we take this, you want to do it? And put it on top, and push down.
I want that ice cream sandwich.
Okay, well, we put that here.
I want
Now,
that ice cream.
well, let's start the next one.
No, I don't want the vanilla.
Well, we got, I know, but other people might want it, right?
But I don't want
Okay, so we put this here, push down. Great.
I don't want that one.
Okay, let's get the next one.
I like that one also.
Okay, so we put that here.
I want ice cream sandwiches too.
And what do we do? Push.
Push down.
Okay, that's great. All
I
right,
like
now,
two ice cream sandwiches.
now we can get some M&Ms on it. You want to try? Let's see. See that?
I want to get that. I'd get some.
Okay.
It's not doing it.
Okay, go ahead. You want to try? Here, push down. Okay, don't squeeze it, just hold it. Okay, all right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the rest of the ice cream sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll show everybody what it looks like, okay? So was it fun working on this? Were these awesome? Look at these awesome ice cream sandwiches that we made.
My ice cream M&Ms are falling off.
Okay, but that's okay, we'll fix it.
I
Okay.
can't fix it.
No, it'll be fine. Just say, hi everybody,
Hi everybody.
happy Father's Day,
Happy Father's Day.
and I'll be seeing you real soon.
I'll see you real soon.
Okay. Look at this Father's Day feast that we put together for you. It's great, and I had family along, which made it even better. So let's talk about what we put together today. We did lasagna 3 ways. We started out with a classic lasagna, and that's meat and cheese and noodles, and this looks really good. Then we did this great zucchini lasagna where we use the slicer to make the noodles and stuff, and that's really good. I think this really cool dish that we have, which you use to make lasagna, you can see what that zucchini lasagna looks like. And then third, we made this veggie lasagna with the lasagna noodles and veggies, and that came out great as well. So just some additions. We didn't show you how to make it today, but if you're making a full dinner, you probably want to have some garlic bread along the way, and that's pretty simple to put together. And then we did this really nice caprese salad, and a caprese salad is made up of tomatoes, fresh mozzarella cheese, and then basil, which we cut fresh basil in what they call a chiffonade into strings. And then we covered it all with this balsamic reduction, this balsamic syrup, which makes it really, really good. For dessert, I worked with Josh, my grandson, and we made these phenomenal chocolate chip cookie ice cream sandwiches, and I can't wait to get into those. And then a good Italian meal deserves a glass of wine to go with it. So I just want to thank you for being along on the journey with us today. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Knack, for being with us as well. And then I'd say I would look forward to seeing you on the next Sweets, Treats, and Eats. So see you then. So this has been a great episode, and I want to thank my family here, Nick, my son, Josh, my grandson, for joining me on this episode of Sweets, Treats, and Eats dedicated to Father's Day. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Major time.
Yes.
Good time.
Okay, should we do more of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so.
Thanks Oh, what's that? Go ahead.
I guess so.
You guess so? Okay. So I look forward to seeing you, our loyal viewers, on another episode of Sweets, Treats, and Eats. So say goodbye and happy Father's Day.
Goodbye. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.